All right, trying again. It looks like it'll work now. I rearranged my office, as you can see, so you're in a new camera angle. And the devices don't all wake up perfectly. Okay. All right, what I wanted to offer was a challenge to all the libertarians and the like, and we might. All right, what I hear the audio working over there. In that my rejection of government, I thought it down as deep as it goes. There's always more questions about things, but sometimes things unravel into the chemicals in the periodic table that you've already seen before. You kind of know what you're dealing with. So, government is an illusion. This is what I'm proposing to you. Government is an illusion, and I think a lot of people would agree, yeah, it's an illusion. But I will tell you what kind of an illusion is, what the illusion is. Okay, the illusion is that it exists. With this thing you think of as government, it doesn't exist, right? It's a neurosemantic illusion, right? The idea that there was a public organization uh, which formed a military or had a military, the U.S. military, and fought the revolution, there was never any such public institution in the first place, right? The people that formed that private institution as private individuals told themselves, well, it's God's will or it's the natural law that this government I just invented is a public institution with, sole proprietary right to this land that we're now going to form a public army to take. No, that was a private organization and it took the land as a private organization. The invention of this neurosemantic illusion, telling us that it was a public organization, that's just a fantasy. It's never been the way it was. Now, back in the day, and as they were discussing these kinds of things, what's the legitimacy of government in Europe? Well, there's this great idea of the social contract. Problem, nobody ever saw such a contract. Nobody ever signed it. But a lot of Americans say that about America, and that's not true. Pretty sure most people in America are immigrants or descended from immigrants. And every post-revolutionary immigrant, okay, my family came to the United States, some of them, uh, quite a number of them, before the revolution. But I think most people in the United States, somebody could correct me if they think I'm wrong, uh, came over here as immigrants or descended from immigrants who did actually specifically agree to a contract, a social contract known as the United States Constitution, which is why it was invented. Okay, because they had this idea of social contract, so they actually did it. So this is a private organization, and there actually is a contract that can be binding. But let's say you feel it's unfair because you were born into it, you couldn't just emigrate however you liked, so you feel trapped, and it feels like you're a trapped customer. But the redress for that is that you have to leave and go try it somewhere else. For example, go back to where you were before your parents signed that agreement, right? Because the right to come in was from signing it. Now, I've chosen to accept the agreement because I think that the form of the agreement is, since there is the social contract, that the agreement gives me the right of basically stock ownership. Every citizen is an owner of this private organization, just like a homeowners association. Every citizen has already been accepted by the organization as an owner member of the organization. And that gives me redress. So, for example, right now I think there's powerful people and moneyed interests that are breaking the social contract. But they're abusing it for their own gain and whatnot. And I have redress because there is a contract to reference to say that it's being violated or broken. If I just leave or call the agreement null and void, then what redress do I have to have it as anything else? Well, yeah, I have ancestors that were over here before the revolution. I'm not sure if that helps. So let's just put that aside for a second. The rest of us that came over here signed the agreement, right? They have no right to be here if they don't like the agreement or if it wasn't signable, if there was a problem with the agreement. But as a private organization, the only illegitimate thing is that you would take a bunch of guns and steal some property. But those were the old rules. They did that, took the land from the British, who had just claimed it, even though there were people here. Then it took the rest of the land from that coast all the way to the other coast, from the people that were there through war with those people, the Native Americans. And difficult war where we got so tired of fighting it, we made treaties. Possibly before we realized, hey, we'll just break them. I think we might have thought of that later. We actually, the treaty with Dakota was because they keep massacring the, pioneers. We can't defend them. Let's make peace with them, and then we'll fuck them over later. I think that might have been a later idea. But if it's a private organization, all of the ramifications are different. What you think of as a tax is really a fee. It's a fee for you to get access to the United States territory that you can freely roam because you're part of this organization, right? You're born into it or not, part of it. They took the land, and then that was the agreement, right? So it's a fee, and only your neurosemantic illusion makes you think of it as a tax and then get all upset because of your rights. Okay, it's a private organization. Your rights are natural rights. In this private organization, you just have a contract. Okay. I'm curious on people's thoughts on this, but I know that this is the correct analysis. But still, I'm curious to see what you think you know about it.